Sorry, Darren. I'm gonna be late. Can't make dinner tonight. Could you make do with what's in the fridge? Sorry. Oh, and could you give Johnny a bath and put him to bed too?
Yeah, no problem. Something come up at work?
Yeah, just a little something with Johnny's school mom. Got an urgent meeting. It's David's mother. Something about his anger issues. Not sure.
David, huh? Haven't heard that name from Johnny much.
Yes, she just moved in nearby. Just started kindergarten. Also just got divorced. You know, single mom. So, kind of hard to bring up a kid alone. She seemed really distraught. Figured I should, counsel her.
I get it. Well, Nance, if you say so, guess it's pretty serious. Alright, I'll take care of things at home, so no worries. Take your time.
Thanks, I owe you. When you get home, I'll head out. So, leave it to you.
No problem. Be careful.
Hey, Darren, I need your help again. Got a call from David's mom.
Again? Today? That's 3 days in a row. You okay with it? Are you sure she's okay? Not being used, I hope. Sure seems like it.
Nothing like that. The divorce, was kinda hard on her. Apparently her ex-husband cheated on her. The ex kicked her and their kid out with practically nothing. So, emotionally she's a wreck. Seems that just talking with me relieves her stress. She's looking way happier recently. I want to help her out just a little more.
Well, nice of you and all, Nance, but Johnny's been pretty lonely recently too. Mom's been gone and all. Just end it ASAP or when things seem right, okay?
I know, don't worry. I got this. I just can't leave it alone. I have a kid the same age too. Can't just look the other way. You do understand, right, honey? Just until she's back on her feet. I know I'm putting you and Johnny in a tight spot, but a little longer. Moms have to help each other in situations like this. Please, be patient a bit longer.
Can't complain about mommy stuff. Guess you have to do what you have to do. Just don't get too fixated on it, okay?
Yes, I know. Okay, I'm off!
Don't be so late.
I won't. Good morning. Sorry, I just got up. Did you take Johnny to kindergarten? Thanks.
What do you mean, just got up? Hey, Nance, don't tell me you were out all night. Were you drinking with David's mom till morning? Come on, get your shit together, would you? Please? How long do you intend to be involved with this woman? She must be fine by now.
What can I say? I have to help her. I was listening to her and one thing led to another. Just talking all night. Lost track of time. We were drinking a bit and just kind of fell asleep. When I came to, it was morning. I'm headed home now. Don't worry.
Hey, you're way too involved with this mom. You go out to consult with her like 4 times a week. Half the time you come home in the morning. I'm doing all the household stuff and taking care of Johnny. He's just a kid, Nance. You also mentioned taking this mom out to eat. You seem to be taking quite a bit of money from home. What's up with that? Come on, Nance. Enough is enough.
What am I supposed to do? David's mom is really having a hard time, Her husband has an affair and just dumps her and the kid? She has to bring up her kid alone. I have to help her. That's why I want to console her and release some of that stress. I felt sorry for her and invited her out. How can I make her pay?
Sorry, but you're really overdoing it. You keep saying school, mom, friends are so important. You really don't even know her well. Only been a couple of months, right? You turn a blind eye to your household chores and your own kid, take money out of your household savings, and for what? For some woman you met 2 months ago? Come on, Nance, wake up! Either way, it really does not make sense.
But if I just ignore them, then what? They are allowed to fend for themselves. For a mom that has the same age kid, I just can't look the other way.
But why you? Why do you have to stick with them 24/7 for God's sake? If she's having so much trouble, she could find official help. Like some kind of hospital, or community reach center, or maybe... There must be something. How about counseling? Leave it to the pros.
Counseling? Hospital? That's insensitive! Like saying there's something wrong with her. And she's not sick or anything. Just tired. Stressed out. She can't just take time off from work either. I wouldn't advise such a thing.
This mommy friend or whatever you call them seems strange to me. Being single and having no money and with a little kid, I can see how hard that could be. But calling out a mom from school, staying out till the wee hours of the morning, and making that person pay for it all? She knows you have a kid the same age. I have to say, this all seems really weird. This has gone on way too long. I want you to cut all ties with her. Think of your own family.
Cut ties? Why do I have to do such a drastic thing?
Listen, and listen carefully. I'm not going to say this again. Cut all ties with this so-called mommy friend. If you're going to dump on your own family and not even discuss this issue or find ways to fix it, if so, I'm not going to just sit back and take it.
So you want me to just cast him aside, is that it? David's mom is distraught. Her husband dumped her and her child with nothing. All I'm doing is listening to her grievance and giving her advice. What's so wrong with that? I wish you would not butt into stuff about my friends.
I have no intention of butting in when it comes to your girlfriends, but I do have the right to say something when it comes to relationships with men.
What? Relationships with men? David's mom is a woman, for your information.
Forget it. If you had just changed your attitude or just told me the truth, I thought I'd just leave it at that and say nothing. But if you have no intention, you asked for it.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What do you want to say? Let's hear it.
I already know what's going on. That so-called David's mom, there's no such person. She doesn't exist. Then you lied about helping your mommy friend, and that you were off seeing some guy.
What the hell are you talking about? That this friend is not real? That I'm seeing some guy? Have you gone bonkers? I can't believe why you came to that conclusion.
Even if it's a lie, you won't deny it, huh? Why did I come to that conclusion, you say? You've been going to see this David's mom person for 2 months. That's pretty long. Why would I not check up on you?
Did you check up on me?
At first, I just wanted to see what this mommy friend of yours was like. When I went to pick up Johnny at the kindergarten, I asked around about this friend of yours. But it's strange. After asking around, nobody heard of this David kid that recently arrived.
No, that can't be right. Some kind of mistake for sure.
I even asked all the teachers. There was no recent David in the age group, much less in the other age groups. There was one David, but I talked to his dad. Nice guy, by the way. I asked some other mothers you said we were friendly with, but they said you had no new mommy friends. Actually, they said you'd finish up early and just hurry home. Seems so strange. So I asked the detective agency to check you out.
Detective agency? When did you do that?
I guess it was about a month ago. Those detective agencies are really thorough. Snapped a bunch of photos for me. Like one where you were going into a hotel with some guy.
Seriously? No way! That's not possible!
Oh, and I had them check your line messages too. Here's one. I just saved my mommy friend and he's like, okie dokie, what a dunce, LMAO. And here, you're seeing this mommy friend too much. He's desperate, lol. Nice messages. I found out everything.
Did you know from that far back? Then why didn't you?
Why didn't I say something sooner? I figured you were still Johnny's mom, so for the sake of Johnny, divorce was not in the cards for me. But you had no remorse or any willingness to fix it, and just opted to lie to us. So I came to the conclusion that life would be better for the both of us if you were out of the picture. Let's get a divorce.
Wait a sec. Please, not so fast. Okay, I understand. I will tell you the truth. Everything. So, please don't talk about divorce. Please?
Sorry, there's nothing I want to hear from you. I got all the proof I need for your infidelity. Truth? No thanks. Too late for that.
Wait, please. Let's discuss this like adults. I'll head home now and wait for you guys to get home. Let's talk, please.
Even if you head home, we won't be there. I'm headed to your parents' place with Johnny. I'm just getting on the highway, as a matter of fact.
Huh? My parents' place?
Yes. To your place. Your parents have to see what you did, right?
Please, turn that car around and come home, please. You don't have to tell my folks anything.
We're getting divorced. Have to make it clear who's at fault, right? By the way, I sent all the evidence to my parents' place through my little sister. Do you want to talk? Come over to your parents' place. We're waiting. Of course, this is not about getting divorced or not. This is about who will take care of Johnny and the settlement I want. No use running. Your brother is already on his way to pick you up.
No way. Please, I beg you. Not divorce, please. I'll do anything. I beg of you. Please.
Sorry. I can't believe a word you say anymore, you lying tramp! Okay. I'm just around the corner from your place. See you later. I heard later that she met up with her brother, and he forcibly took her home. I told her that as long as I got sole custody of Johnny, I didn't need anything else from them. But her parents pleaded with me to have joint custody, and they would make her pay all compensation to me, including alimony, until Johnny came of age. Nancy, of course, was angry and would not relent at first, but after her mom cried her eyes out and her dad almost slapped her silly, she finally relented and signed the divorce papers. Nancy went back home, and in order to pay my settlement and education costs for her son, she started working at her brother's company. I went back to my parents' place, and with their help, and some help from my little sister, I'm bringing up little Johnny the best I can. Johnny was a little gloomy after separating from his mother, but with a cheerful family around, he gradually seemed to brighten up. My task from now on is to bring up my son and teach him to be a loving and considerate person.
Hey, do you even have a purpose coming into work? You're a total waste of oxygen. How does your company even put up with you? Useless guys like you should just stay at home, in bed. Hello, Christian. Was there something I could help you with today? You don't even know what you've done? The paperwork that you submitted today was full of errors. I was this close to having to work off the clock to fix all the mistakes. Perhaps you need to have someone more capable take over this contract. You're more trouble than you're worth. Do me a favor and go make your mistakes on someone else's account. I'm sorry that you feel that way about me, but I'm quite certain there weren't any mistakes in the paperwork. You're kidding, right? It was full of them. Your numbers didn't match up at all with our numbers. So I ended up having to redo all of our paperwork so that the numbers lined up. You have no idea how much extra work I had to do. What? Doesn't that just mean that your paperwork was wrong to begin with? Shut your mouth. Don't forget who you're talking to here. Let me remind you that I am the elite banker for one of your company's most important clients. My apologies. It wasn't my intention to offend you in any way. I'm well aware that you work on behalf of Prelcom, but I can assure you that there were no errors in our paperwork. You see, that's exactly what I'm talking about when I said that you are a complete waste of oxygen. You just put the blame on someone else for your own mistakes. That's just cowardly. You're absolutely right, and I agree with you completely. You're nothing more than a lowly employee, only suitable for punching in numbers and waiting for your next command. Compared to my status as an elite banker, we're in a completely different class. So don't think that you can agree with my opinions as if we're equals. You don't have that right. I'm sorry for overstepping my boundaries. Anyways, you better redo the paperwork and deliver the brand new documents by tomorrow. What? Why is that necessary? Because I said so, you fool. Besides, I had to redo our paperwork, so you should have to endure the same punishment. But as far as I can tell, there was nothing wrong with our numbers. How do you expect me to write up a new report in that case? That's not my problem. Figure it out yourself. You just need to do as I say. But there's nothing to fix in our report. Be quiet. If you're gonna keep complaining to avoid doing the work, we'll just break off this contract. Do you understand? I better have the new paperwork in my hands by tomorrow morning. Christian, please, wait! Let me just run this past my manager first. So, that was what took place during our call. Should I give in to Christian's demands and write up a new report?
Don't even bother. Maybe you can just stick a new cover page on it and call it a day. I'm sure that fool won't even notice the difference. It won't even matter if you present him with a brand new report. He's just gonna complain about it anyways. He's always been like that, so don't even waste your time worrying about his illogical demands.
I see. Was he this difficult to work with even when you were handling the contract?
Difficult doesn't even come close to describing the huge nuisance he's been. Now that he's in a managerial position, I bet he's become even more troublesome to work with. I'm sorry for making you take over such a difficult client, Ronald.
It's not your fault, but it seems like I've already run into a dilemma about how to deal with his antics.
Don't worry, this shouldn't last for much longer. I have a feeling he won't be able to keep up his ridiculous games forever. Sooner or later, he's bound to face the consequences.
What do you mean by that?
I'm just saying that because of the way he acts, like he's so much better than everyone else, I'm sure he's made a lot of enemies along the way as well. Things will get much better soon, I'm sure. You'll have to bear with him for a little while longer, but don't let him get under your skin too much.
Sure, if that's what you think is best. I'll do my best.
That's what I like to hear. By the way, how's your wife doing these days?
She's great, as always.
I'm sure you know that our company is greatly indebted to her as well, so please give her my best regards.
I will, of course.
If I remember correctly, isn't it almost your wedding anniversary? Perhaps you can take her out to dinner at that fancy steakhouse that her father is also so fond of.
That's a great idea. I think I'll do that. Thank you very much for your thoughtfulness. I'll talk to her and see how she feels about it. I can't believe you had the nerve. You actually thought that it would be okay to bring someone like that to such a high-end steakhouse? Wait, don't tell me she's your wife or something. I hope you don't think that you can get away with treating my wife that way. What are you talking about? What kind of an idiot takes their blind wife out to a fancy restaurant like that? Don't you have any common sense? Think about all the staff and other customers who have to accommodate her handicap. What makes you think that you should be so entitled? You're nothing more than a lowly paper pusher. That's enough. We were supposed to be celebrating our wedding anniversary tonight. You had no right to ruin our evening like that. You're definitely gonna pay for what you did. Oh, sure. Whatever you say. I hope you're not trying to threaten me or anything, because nothing you say can frighten me, you poor, worthless nobody. Anyways, that's not the kind of woman that you should be bringing to a fancy steakhouse in the first place. I said that's enough. So what if you're a so-called elite banker for our client? Tonight's dinner had nothing to do with our business relationship. You had absolutely no right to look down on us like that. What you said was completely unacceptable. And it was definitely not your position to scream at us to go home. Don't you think you're the one with no consideration for the restaurant or the rest of the customers? Actually, it's more embarrassing that lower-end people like you think that they deserve to dine there. And you realized that too when I pointed it out, right? That's why you left in the middle of your meal. Don't be so sure of yourself. We have a long-established relationship with the owner of that restaurant, so we decided to leave as a consideration to him. We didn't want to cause any more of a scene, so we decided to deal with the situation in a mature way. I hope you don't get the wrong idea about why we left. A long-established relationship? Yeah, right. How is that even possible? There's no way that you have the skills or the experience to establish any kind of relationship with people in this class. Well, let me tell you now that your career is finished. And it's too late now to make up for anything that you've done before. Huh? What are you even talking about? My wife is usually very good-natured and takes everything in stride, but she is absolutely furious with your behavior tonight. Unfortunately, it seems like you've really taken things too far this time. I have no interest whatsoever in anything your blind wife has to say about me. All I said was that handicapped people shouldn't be eating out at high-end restaurants. If only for their good, they should just stay at home. Do you think I said something that was wrong? Everything you said and did was wrong. But this is the kind of place that only elite bankers like me should frequent. Bringing your blind wife here is nothing but a nuisance for everyone. So that's why I said you should go home, and stay home. I'm sure most people will agree that it's a legitimate argument. Well, in that case, we'll be transferring our $500 million in assets to a different bank immediately. Huh? You heard me. And of course, we'll be sure to inform your bank that the reason we are closing our account is because of your disrespectful actions. I told you that you were way out of line this time, right? Now you get to pay. What? What 500 million are you talking about? Perhaps this information was never passed along to a dimwit like you. But my wife's family has a tremendous amount of money deposited in your bank. Your wife's family? So what? There's probably not much your blind wife can do about it anyways. She may be blind, but she's not stupid. Just so you know, my wife's family owns and operates multiple real estate and hotel businesses, and they're one of the wealthiest families in the country. What? Her family invests in our company as well. As a matter of fact, it's even possible that they've made a financial contribution to your bank, in addition to keeping their funds there. But who knows? You're joking, right? Of course I'm serious. What good would it even do for me to joke about this? My wife may not be able to rely on her eyesight, but her mind is as sharp as the elite business person. She's very much involved in her family's business dealings, and I'm proud of everything that she's accomplished. But when she heard the way you were insulting me at the restaurant, she was infuriated. Which, like I said before, is quite unusual for her because she hardly ever loses her temper. Infuriated? At me? Who else, you buffoon? I'm sure if it was just that one incident at the restaurant, she wouldn't have gotten this angry. But she's also well aware about your constant put-downs towards me. She's quite determined to make you pay for everything. Wait, is all of this really true? She's already getting in touch with her father as we speak. So I'm sure that his secretary will be contacting your bank right away. And I can guarantee you that your name will be coming up in that call. It's all over for you. Are you serious about doing all of that? How is this even possible? Your bank is going to be losing a very important account that's worth a lot of money. And it's all your fault. I'm pretty certain they'll make you take responsibility for such a huge blunder. You may be an account manager now, but you definitely won't be moving up any higher than that. That's for sure. I still can't believe this. This can't be happening to me. You have no idea how hard I've worked to get this far. Well, even if it weren't for this incident involving my wife, your career as a banker was going to be over sooner or later. What exactly do you mean by that? Your unlawful actions have already been exposed. An elite banker that embezzled company money. I'm sure that's news worth making the headlines. Huh? What are you talking about? My manager already told me everything. Word is that everyone hates you, and you've made enemies left and right because of how you look down on everyone, right? People hate me? Like who? You really have no idea? Everyone that's ever had to deal with your arrogance. Which, to say the least, includes everyone at my office. What? I don't understand. What reason do they even have for hating me? You honestly weren't aware? This is a more serious problem than I imagined. You're nothing more than a worthless bully who's only capable of dealing with his frustrations by blaming other people for his own mistakes. You don't possibly think that anyone would be foolish enough to respect someone like that, do you? Wait, now you're the one that's getting out of line. And besides, I haven't done anything illegal, so I don't know what you're talking about. Really? Embezzling company money for your personal use? I think it's a big enough deal that it'll make the headlines, and your career will be over for sure. As a matter of fact, the police will get involved as well. That settles it. You can say goodbye to your elite banker status and any other good standing you might have enjoyed. This can't be happening! And what's embezzlement? I've never done such a thing. You don't need to convince me. Take it up with your company and the police. Well, this is just all the result of you making enemies wherever you go. It's only a natural consequence. You're getting everything that you deserve. You just have no idea what I need to deal with. Being in middle management is more stressful than you can ever imagine. I couldn't help it. My job was getting too overwhelming. So what? I just padded my expense report occasionally and teased some of our business acquaintances. No harm done, right? That's where you're wrong. It might just be stress relief for you, but have you ever thought about the people who are on the receiving end of your behavior? But if it's work-related stress that causes you to act like this, then how do you explain the way you treated my wife today? I believe she has nothing to do with your job, so it would be irrational to blame your actions on stress. Oh, well, that was something else. I never meant for it to come out that offensive. I was just trying to look out for everyone's best interests. You don't actually think that I believe such a lame excuse, do you? I assure you that I will be looking into what I can do about this matter thoroughly. And first things first, my wife will be transferring her family's assets to a different bank immediately. In addition, we'll be issuing a complaint for damages in regards to your speech and conduct towards my wife. A complaint? For what? What you've done is considered defamation under the law. Oh, and I almost forgot. You threw a glass of water in my face when you told me to leave the restaurant. That counts as assault, if I remember right. You're not going to blame that on you being drunk or anything, right? It won't even help if you do. That was... no, well... It wasn't out of spite or anything. I really didn't mean any harm. It was just a misunderstanding. Or rather, a misleading expression. What kind of an excuse is that? It sounds like you're having trouble finding your words today. Why don't you just say what's on your mind, like you always do? I'm very sorry. How can I express my sincere regrets to your wife for saying those things to her? Would you please do me a favor and explain to her that this was just all a small mistake? Make her understand that I never meant any harm. I am completely ashamed about the way that I acted, and you have my sincere apologies for my behavior. So why don't we just settle this matter between us? There's no need to make this into a big deal. We're all adults here, so let's just be mature about it. You're kidding, right? You want to act like none of this ever happened? When in fact, you were the one who was a poor example of the way a mature adult should act. Yes, I'm very aware of my ineptitude. However, we had all had a few drinks and had let ourselves loose. That doesn't make any sense, especially because we weren't even drinking with each other. As a matter of fact, even if we were drinking together, your actions would still be unforgivable. I'm very sorry. I just got a call from my manager. Please, try and persuade your wife to change her mind. I'm begging you. I swear that I never had any ill intent. Please, you have to help me. Yeah, right. What makes you think that we would ever do that? How can you be so cruel? That's easy. it's because I've always disliked you from the beginning. Maybe if you finally learned your lesson after all of this, you'll look for a new way to deal with work stress from now on. Anyways, goodbye, former elite. My wife's family is well known for their wealth and success. They had an account with Christian's bank to manage a portion of their personal assets. But as a result of the incidents at the restaurant, they decided to transfer all of their funds to a different bank immediately. When the account executives were informed of this matter, it didn't take long for them to find out that Christian was the reason behind the sudden request. In addition, the truth about his embezzlement was also revealed. So not only did he receive disciplinary dismissal for his dishonesty, he was also reported to the police for his illegal actions. I filed a complaint for damages against Christian for assault and was able to receive a large payment for damages as well as a restraining order. After that, I no longer had any professional connections with Christian, which was a huge relief. Christian, on the other hand, was abandoned even by his own family, so he really ended up losing everything. Perhaps for him, it was a lesson well learned. If you wrongfully use your status to bully people, you're only going to end up losing everything that you've worked so hard for.